is interesting, and it's you probably don't read a lot of what's written about you, but you are described as a hater and a dangerous man, and I have listened for the last hour as you've inveighed against war in favor of kindness.
Yeah.
Said, I don't recognize ethnic or religious distinctions. I just love people. Like, these are not words of hate. These are the opposite.
Correct.
How exact? I mean, I'm just taking you by your own words.
Thank you.
How is it that you have been slandered by the media as the opposite of what you say you are?
Well, it's like, how is it that in England over the last year, they've been describing pro-Palestinian marches that are anti-genocide as hate marches? Not my friends who are out in the streets protesting against the actual genocide that's going on now of the Palestinian people. And yet, the British media call those hate marches. It's bizarre. There's no hatred involved in those marches. It's pure love. It's exactly what I'm proposing. It's exactly what I support with all my heart and have done all my life. It's like the little thing I gave you, saying every word I've ever written in all my rock and roll writing, okay, is about that, is about encouraging empathy for others in myself and in others. That's all I write about, because it's what I care about. It's what my mum and dad instilled in me. My father, who was killed by the Nazis, and my mother, who with every bone in her body believed in the inherent goodness of the human race, and believed in the possibility of, what was it? Why we had to run for shelter when the promise of a brave new world unfurled beneath a clear blue sky. Okay. My mum believed in the brave new world unfurling. And we're not talking Aldous Huxley now.
No, right.
Not that brave new world, but an actual, real world where people love one another and help one another and get back what it is. It's like, there's a poem I wrote years ago, there's something, the doctor's note from ages gone, or something, good friends to help rebuild the barn. I was thinking of it as I drove through the countryside, coming up here through Maine, and seeing all these houses dotted. They're all the same. They're all cardboard, copies of one another. They're all clapboard. They're all white or brown or whatever. But you can imagine people living in them, human beings, and you can imagine people. Look, his barn's fallen down. Let's go and help him rebuild it. Good neighbors to help rebuild the barn. That's what we need, not war. War is the absolute worst possible thing, and yet they're the biggest industries in the developed Western countries.
And the most zealously defended, I will say that. What you've been doing media interviews for 50 years more. How would you describe the media's role in war?
Well, sadly, it's holding it up. More war is basically what the Western media now is sort of more or less saying, more war. They're certainly not going, I think we should go and stand outside Raytheon and stop it. Or can it? No, well, let's all go to Washington, D.C. and say, if you drop another bomb on Iran, you won't be anywhere to do with any government that represents me, because it's the worst possible thing that you could be doing. Or going and kidnapping Nicolas Maduro and Celia Flores from Caracas, where they live, where he's the president of the country and the head of state, just because you've got helicopters. And morons with guns will do anything they're bloody well told. It's awful. Obviously, this is even worse than the Biden administration or Bush before that. Or you've gone downhill in a big way, haven't you? I mean, it feels like it to me.
I mean, I think it's going to be hard to emerge from this Iran thing intact. I mean, I think it's very destructive.
Well, it's so self-destructive as well.
entirely.
Anyway,
I'm still trying to figure out why we did it, exactly the mechanics of it. But yeah, no, it's worse even than I worried it would be for us and for the world. So I completely agree. So when you go do interviews, or how do people respond to you? How does the media respond to you?
well, the media doesn't speak to me.
What do you mean?
Well, they don't. I don't do any mainstream media. The closest I come to mainstream media is Piers Morgan, who shouts at me for half an hour, and you, who have, I have to say, a very nice host.
Well,
Gave me a
so.
sandwich, for God's sake.
Yeah, we have to.
Which was very nice.
But you don't do morning shows on network television. No one asks you to come and talk, or
No. I'm persona non grata out there in media land. You think the New York Times would print an article if I wrote it? I've sent umpteen articles to big newspapers all over. I don't anymore because I know that nothing will ever get printed, not a single word. I'm verboten, and I'm proud of it. I sort of am proud of it because I'm preaching kindness.
yes.
Thank you, Charlie McKeesy, by the way. I hope you see this and you get your name thing, because it's such a beautiful little book. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. What do you want to be when you grow up? Kind. Ooh.
Last question. Thank you for
Go
this.
on then.
Where does this go, do you think? So we're on the precipice of a deepening Iran war, a total explosion in Russia. Do you have any hope at all that this can be resolved peacefully, these two conflicts?
Samud is an Arabic word that means perseverance, steadfast perseverance in resistance, particularly to the occupation of your homeland. So it's very well used and well worn Arabic word, and it moved me when I first heard it, or what it is. And I've written a song called Samud, and I won't try and remember all the lyrics because I can't, but I know how it finishes up. It finishes up with me talking about all the ordinary people all over the world, standing shoulder to shoulder, from the river to the sea, from every river to every sea, all over everywhere. Okay. And raising their voices together as one, ordinary people. Okay. And I'm not going to try and remember the exact form of the words, but it ends up with this idea. When they do that with Samud, with steadfast perseverance, all together, they can turn this ship around. But it will take them to do it. They will have to do it. The people standing shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm. It will take that kind of force to turn this ship around from its path to the ultimate destruction of the human race. Imminent destruction of the human race. This could end in a nuclear conflagration in any minute with the way...
Very easily.
Very easily. So we, the people, and people who do speak to me, right, like USB speak to me. Who's USB? USB is the dock workers union in Italy. They revere me. I'm a hero.
So at least you got the dock workers union in Italy.
And that makes me so happy. You know, the thought that ordinary people may hear my voice and may go, you know what, he makes a lot of sense. That's how I feel too. Oh, do we really all have? Yes, you do. You all got to come together and raise your voice whenever you get the chance to do it, because we are many and they are few. The enemy is a very few, very, very rich oligarchs. Probably 1,000 or 2,000 of them in the whole world. And they run the whole thing. They keep the wars going. And they do it because they're greedy. They are Noboa in Ecuador, or this new woman who's just been who's just stolen the election in Peru, Fujirami or whatever her bloody name is, and there's somebody else just come in and cast in Chile. Unfortunately, there's a big move to the right politically in South America, which I follow quite a lot. So you have to stand up, people, and you have to organize. It's back to listening to what our friend Malcolm X had to say back in the 60s. We have to organize. We've been out-organized. We're not outnumbered or outthought or outfelt, but we have been out-organized. And so is there any hope? Yeah, there is. I wrote an opera about the French Revolution called Ça ira, which is the future tense of ça va. Ça va means that's it, or that's ça ira means that will be. So it's a sort of full.
I'm sorry, you wrote an opera about the French Revolution?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Something I've never done.
No, okay. But hang on. And so I just want to say this. The guy who wrote the libretto, mainly, who was a Frenchman, called Etienne Rodergil, he said something to me one day. We were walking down 54th Street. It was early in the morning. He's an alcoholic, so he had to stop for a couple of large scotches, and I had a cup of espresso. Anyway, and he was doing that French thing that they do with his gitan, or and looking.
They love to smoke.
And I asked him, I said something to him. I said, what gives you hope, Etienne? And he went, and he thought about it, and then he lit another Benson and Hedges and had another whiskey. And then he went, and he started to speak, and he wrote, I was here. I beg your pardon. I was here. Ah, oui. I felt something. Yeah. And perhaps I was not alone. I wrote it on a piece of paper, and it's been in my back pocket ever since. And you may have to think about it for a bit. I was here, I felt something, and perhaps I was not alone. It gives me hope too. You could use it to describe our conversation. I was here, I felt something, and perhaps I was not alone.
I don't think we're alone.
Good.
Roger Waters, thank you for that.
Not at all. Thank you.